Good morning, Bulldogs, and happy Wednesday. Today we have two quick announcements before we get through the schedule. First, one thing that we've noticed as we're learning more about Canvas is that we don't receive notifications when you reply to comments on items that have been scored. So for example, if you read a problem set and you leave a comment for us to read, we actually don't get a pop-up notification letting us know that you left that comment. This was just brought to our attention. So the only time we receive comments is when you submit something, and then we know that there's a comment there for us to read. If you ever have a question about something that's been scored, if you're not resubmitting it and you're just typing a comment, please let us know through Dojo or send a message through My Learning to the inbox. That way we would get that. We apologize if you've asked any questions. We are not able to easily go back and see comments that are left unless there's a grade submission. Give you a little behind the scenes. As you guys submit assignments for us, they pop up over here, and this is how we know that we have assignments to grade, and they're all listed through here. And that tells us that, and we're able to then see if you have a comment. However, if you just type a comment on something that we grade, nothing pops up. So use your inbox over here to send us a message, or if you want to send your classroom teacher a message on Dojo, if you have any questions that don't involve you actually submitting something, or you're welcome to use the discussion boards. The last thing is our math lessons have been going really well. Mrs. Morrison and I have been having a ball working with you guys, and we've had up to over 40 people in some of our sessions. So please keep coming in. It's great seeing your faces. As a quick reminder, that Zoom session is open until 4 o'clock as well. So as you're going through the problem set, or if you're working on a different assignment and you're not there for the lesson and you need support with Zoom, you can hop into the session after the math is done. So we'll keep that same room open until 4 o'clock. So we'll continue with the math lesson, and as soon as the math lesson's done, if you need help with anything from that math to any of the other assignments, pop on in, and me or Mr. Morsham will be in there until 4. Today you'll have ELA, reading, social studies, music, and PE. With ELA, we have a few things that are going on. We have just started our ELA live lessons. Those began on Monday, and our next one is going to be today at 12 o'clock. The code for this will be in the announcements here for the daily announcement. For today's live lesson, they're going to be going over 9.02. Usually the ELA lessons have begun on a Monday and then would pick back up with the next lesson on Wednesdays. However, because of the pretest and starting that new lesson, the new chapter on Monday, it's kind of thrown off our schedule a little bit. But you'll be able to go into the session today at noon and work on what's going to be assigned for tomorrow and Friday. Within the live lesson, you're going to be going through, continuing the work, reading a new story, and from there completing this new graphic organizer. So this is in the Bit.ly folder where all of our resources were housed. So if you can bring this with you or have access to it, you're going to start filling out this graphic organizer to go along with what you did in 9.01. This will not be turned in. It will be needed for next week's assignment. So recap, the live lesson is at 12 o'clock noon. They're going to be going over this graphic organizer and the other parts that are within 9.02. If you've been keeping with the schedule and you are not going to the live lesson at noon, you are going to finish 9.01 that you began yesterday, and today you're going to complete the quiz to go along with it. So any of the reading that you didn't complete yesterday or the graphic organizer, make sure you wrap that up because you're going to need it for next week. Go ahead and finish that, and then do your quiz for ELA, and then you are done with ELA for today. In social studies, you're going to be reviewing lesson 8.02, which is figuring out the federal government. Once you go into figuring out the federal government, you're going to read through about the Constitution, terms with the Constitution, how the United States government was established, and then recognizing that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So complete through the lesson in the module, going through, until you get to, so what is my assignment? And your assignment today is to take the social studies quiz. You can click next at the bottom when you get to the so what is my assignment and tells you to take the quiz, or you can head there from the rocket ship. You are going to need the information in that lesson, so don't jump straight to the quiz. We've noticed some people have been doing that and it's not paying out too well. For this, you're going to have 10 questions. It's worth 20 points and you are allowed 3 attempts. After you have submitted your social studies quiz, head back home. Today in music, you're going to be listening to Mozart and taking a quiz that goes along with it. So once you get to music, make sure you watch the video. Again, some people are jumping straight to the quiz and they're doing really poorly on it because they're not learning the content that goes along with it. So make sure you watch the music here that's listed in music. After you've gone through the video lesson, hit next. Read through the classical period and make sure you're doing each of the videos. All of these parts are going to contribute to your learning for this topic. After you have finished this, you can go ahead and hit next and you can complete the quiz. You'll also have 3 attempts for this. If you need to, take 1 attempt, and if you were confused on it, head back into the lesson. Find where those information were, and then head back in. If you have any questions at all, please use our discussion boards for Mrs. Melfi and Mr. Bavard, and they'll be glad to help you out with this. Once you've finished, head back home. Last 2 activities you have for today is reading your 30 minutes and completing your log, and you'll also have your PE log to complete. There is no math lesson today that you'll have to complete, so there will be no live lesson today for math. So at 2 o'clock, we will not be holding a live lesson, but we will tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So head on back and join us then. All right, Bulldogs, if you have any questions, please hop into a Zoom room or head to the discussion boards or send us a message to our inbox, and we will see you online.